What is going on, guys? Welcome back to All Car and Garage. As you saw in my last video, I was going to show you how I painted my wheels, and this wheel is on a 92 Camaro. You can see, hopefully you can pick this up on video, is that my clear coat on these wheels have seen definitely better days. Kind of looking old and outdated. Also, as you can see, it still has part of the decal that was on here that said Chevrolet on here. I'm going to update these wheels and give them a good paint job. I'm going to show you how. I already did 3 out of the 4, so I'm going to show you how I did this one. So stay tuned. Okay, as you can see, I jacked the car up already, so it's off the ground, as you can tell here. And I want to show you something that is very important. I've jacked up the car, and I placed jack stands underneath it on both sides. I actually put mine right underneath the axle, right underneath the lower control arm. I left my jack in place. There is no pressure on the jack though. And I can show you that. There is no pressure on this jack, and it will come down. It's kind of hard to hold and show you guys, but I do keep the jack in place, just as an extra precaution, just in case for whatever reason this car decided to slip off the jack stand. I also did chock the front wheels so the car cannot roll. It's very important that you do stuff like this and take precaution. You don't want this car falling on you. You don't want to get hurt or even killed. So definitely take your time, jack up the car in the right positions, check your owner's manual where you should be jacking up your car, and definitely use jack stands, and always be very careful. Okay, so your next step that you want to do is you want to remove this hubcap. What I'm using here is a large flat bladed screwdriver, and you just want to gently pry up on this, twist it a little bit, and it'll come right out. As you can tell, this one has seen better days. Actually quite fragile. It's an aluminum piece on the outside that's covering some plastic hubcap, and these get brittle after a while. This is very brittle. It's still holding up, and I'm going to use it for a little bit longer, like I said, but I just want to make it look nicer. The next thing you want to do, you want to get a socket to remove your lug nuts. I'm using a set by Pittsburgh, which is Harbor Freight. It's not the greatest set in the world, but it does the job. This happens to be a 19mm. It's golden color. It has a protective sleeve on the outside if you have those fancy aluminum wheels and you don't want to scuff them up. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my electric impact driver and I'm going to remove the lug nuts. Okay, now that I have the rim off the car, I'm going to clean it. I washed the car yesterday with some soapy water, so I got a lot of the dirt and grime off the tires and rims. But I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to be using oven cleaner, just your regular easy off oven cleaner off the shelf, and it's a degreaser, so it's going to take any grease and grime from the road off these wheels, and I'm going to let that soak in for about 20 minutes, and then after that I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you something really quick. as you could tell, this used to have the Chevrolet logo on it, and let me see if I can zoom in here for you guys so you can take a look at it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there we go. But so I'm starting to wet sand the outer edge of this aluminum covered plastic piece with some 220 grit paper. I'm doing a wet sanding, and I'm just trying to get off all the Chevrolet sticker that was once placed on here. So it's also going to actually help me a lot when I apply the primer, and it's going to have something to bite into. But I'm going to keep wet sanding this, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay guys, so this is what the hubcap looks like after I sanded it down with some 220 grit sandpaper. If this was a car that, or actually if this is wheels I was going to keep on the car, I'd probably follow up with some 400 and then maybe even go to 600 to remove some of the sand scratches in it. I'm not sure how good it shows up on the video, but for now I'm going to leave it alone, and I'm going to tape it up, and then I'm going to clean it up and paint it. So hang in there and I'll show you what the wheels look like after it's done cleaned up. Okay guys, so I just wanted to show you, I just rinsed off all the Easy Off oven cleaner, and as you can see, it's staining the wheel. I believe that's the Easy Off going underneath the clear coat that's not really there anymore, and just staining it up. I think it's all the grease and crap that's in there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to scrub this down with some Brillo, and it's going to take all that staining off of there, and also gives it a good surface for the primer to bite onto. So if you're going to polish your wheels, I wouldn't recommend using Oven Off. I'm sorry, Easy Off. But this is what I've used, and it looks great so far on my other three wheels. Alright guys, so I finally finished scrubbing these wheels. As you could tell, all the stain marks are gone. I believe that's the clear coat just peeling, the rest of the clear coat just coming off. Just took a little Brillo, I think I used 2 pads of Brillo, and it came out nice. So next thing to do is I'm going to let this sit a little bit and dry up. I just put the hubcap on just so you can get an idea how it looks. And I'm going to wind up taping up the wheel. Alright guys, so my wheels dried for a little bit now, and now I'm going to show you how I tape my wheels. I'm also going to use newspaper, but pretty basic and easy how to do it. So I just take some masking tape, and I know I'm overhanging the rim a little bit, but I like to slide the tape underneath the wheel with just a plastic putty knife. And sometimes it cuts into the tape, which is okay. I just try to peel off the excess. If I can get it to come off. There we go. You can do the index card trick too. People have done that. That works just as well. This one I'm not too happy with, but I'll probably go over it again. But just to give you an idea, I think I overhang that one a little bit too much. But just take your time. Try to get as close into the wheel as possible underneath the lip. This way you don't have all that overspray. Just like that. So I'm going to go around this wheel, and I'll show you what I do with the newspaper. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have most of the rim taped up right underneath the lip of the rim. This way paint won't get on the tires. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to actually put some paper on the outside and cover the tire. I don't want any overspray on my tire. This way it looks good when I put it back on. I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, so I got some newspaper from our local circulars that come on Sunday. Actually probably Saturday. So I'm just going around now and I'm just taping it up. Like I said, this will keep the overspray from getting all over the tires and messing up the tires. Some people armor all them first, and then they can wipe off the overspray and clean it up that way. I don't like to do that. I guess old-fashioned. I like to tape it up, make it look good. And so I'm going to go around this. I don't want to waste your time looking at me taping up some tire and hanging. Alright guys, so now I'm ready to paint. I wiped down the wheel with some alcohol just to get any grease that was on my hands off the wheels. So I'm going to first start off with some self-etching primer by Rust-Oleum. This is going to help eat into the metal a little and just give it a good grab to bite into and make a good base for the paint to stick onto. The next item I'm going to use is this Rust-Oleum Universal Metallic Paint and Primer. It's all in one. I like it. It's really strong. It sprays really nicely. And then the last item after everything is dried as well, I'm going to be using this Gloss Clear by Rust-Oleum. It's Painter's Touch. It sprays really nicely and it gives you a great result. So I'm going to spray everything up and then I'll come back and show you the results. So you want to start off with some light coats. Not really looking to fill in anything yet. You're just trying to get some coverage. And I'm going to let that set up for a few seconds and then I'll spray another coat just like that. Let that dry and then I'm going to go in and fill in everything and make sure it's a nice pattern on there. As you notice, I didn't cover my valve stem. It's chrome, it's just a pain in the neck to try to tape up. And I really didn't care about it, so I'm just going to make it the same color as the wheels. I know that would drive some people crazy, but in my case, at this point, like I said, these wheels are just temporary. I just want to make it look good for the time being. Okay, so this is what the wheel looks like after a few coats of primer. And I also did the center cap. And I'm just going to wait for that to dry, and I'm going to hit it again with one more coat. Okay guys, so this is what the satin nickel looks like once applied. Sorry I didn't go through the steps on how to paint properly. We had some weather. I thought it was going to come in and get everything wet, so I was trying to hurry it up. And as you know, it takes time to set up cameras and stuff like that. Right now I'm only using one camera, so it makes it even harder. So this is what it looks like at this point. I'm going to let this dry for another few minutes and then I'm going to shoot it with some clear and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Alright guys, so this is the final product. This is what it looks like. I'm super excited the way this came out. I hope you learned something, how I do them, and I hope you take something away from this. Always, I forgot to mention, always wear your safety protection. Wear a mask, wear eyeglasses, safety glasses. You should also wear some safety gloves too. You don't want any of this stuff on your hands. I know I did it without, and I ran out of gloves, the disposable ones. They're relatively cheap, pick them up at Harbor Freight. And you know, I hope you like this project, and let me know what you think. Comment below.